Top posts presents, the best of, r/Askreddit. What's the one thing that blows your mind every time you think about it? How much of our childhood we don't remember. Especially the very early years. You don't remember super happy moments. You don't remember super weird moments. You don't remember things you said you needed to remember. You don't remember things you said you would be proud of doing them when you were adult, or just generally be proud of them. But I remember that time I fed a vitamin to a cricket. I hope that cricket grew up to be big and strong. That for any given one of us, there are quite probably hundreds of thousands of people in the world who would find us attractive or fall in love with us, and probably millions who we could be close friends with under the right circumstances, and yet so many of us are so lonely. God damn it, you hit me right in the emotional nuts. I like this person. Let's be friends. He said millions. Get in line. How many chances I must have missed in my life. Edit. So since a lot of you tried to say that I shouldn't be sad about this and live in this time, I just wanted to say thank you. But I didn't want this to be that negative. It's just interesting how different life could have been with a small difference in decisions. But thanks guys, smiley face. 7th grade, we're allowed to pick our own seats. Pretty blonde girl sits next to me. Do you think I'm pretty? I want to sit here. Yeah. Pretty ugly, cause I'm a dunce and I was a jerk. She moves seats, proceeds to never talk to me, turns out to become one of the major high school popular girls. Yeah, I screwed that one up. Don't worry buddy. Every guy who was once a prepubescent boy has a similar story, whether we choose to remember or not. That I have probably driven past a few houses with kidnapped people being trapped inside. Are you the dude that keeps driving past my house? We'll be right back. Random times while I'm driving, I'll think about the other 30 people around me all going about 70 miles per hour on the highway, staying in the lanes and still being 4-6 feet away from touching other cars. How is it possible we can manually operate machines going at speeds incomprehensible 100 years ago without killing everyone around us? And to do so without directly communicating with the people around us, but rather all following a loosely agreed upon set of road rules and hoping that everyone else does the same? Yeah, it's crazy. I know accidents happen, but it seems crazy they appear to happen and frequently compared to how dangerous driving is. It's easy to make a mistake, or let your car drift too far into another lane, or any number of things, yet so many cars successfully make their trip each day. High five everyone. I am the main part of my dog's life. You are probably all your dog cares about. That and biscuits. And licking his a-hole. The size of the galaxy and universe. I can't even begin to comprehend it. It's either finite, or it's infinite. Either way it's mind-boggling. This brings me to a thing that I can't comprehend. If it's finite and expanding, how and where is it expanding? I wonder the same as well. What's it expanding into? It's not expanding into anything. Space itself is literally getting bigger. The butterfly effect. About 6 years ago at about 3 AM in a side alley in Auckland, New Zealand, I was mugged for everything I had on me. The police came, took me back to the station and did the whole crime report process. After it was all done, I declined the offer of a ride home, and got my friend to pick me up instead. On the way home, we got a flat tire and had to pull over and knock on someone's door asking for help since we had no tools to change our flat. A woman opened the door and got her brother to help us out. Talked to her etc and grabbed her number. 6 years later we have a 7-month-old daughter and I couldn't be happier. For a second I thought you were going to say you knocked on a door and the mugger answered it. That everyone has their own life and I'm a side character. As my kids are getting older and more developed as people, it blows my mind to think about how they are the heroes of their own stories and I'm just a supporting character. I can feel my own irrelevancy as I age. Was listening to a podcast and it said something like, place a grain of sand in your open palm. The sand is the sun, your hand is the solar system, and the continental United States is the Milky Way. If that's actually correct then, holy duck. Death. It's just bizarre. The fact that we don't know for sure what happens after our consciousness leaves the body terrifies me. Another thing that blows my mind is that the space is so large that there is a possibility that there is an exact copy of Earth somewhere out there. I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born, and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. Mark Twain, that's my take. Being unborn didn't suck or hurt. Being dead won't either. I figure it will be like sleeping. And I love sleeping. Now, the process of dying does concern me. That literally every small decision you've made in life, no matter how insignificant it seemed, lead you to reading this post, and any difference could have altered your life wildly. Same goes for you. If you didn't do one little thing, then you wouldn't have written this post. And I've now made you read this instead of paying attention to that guy standing outside your window. Okay. There's a lot more ants than humans. A lot more. What do you figure? Like at least 12 IDK, man. I killed a few ants as a kid, probably down to 7 now. During the night, your intervertebral discs relax and expand. That is why you are 1% taller in the morning than in the evening. Unfortunately, during the day they compress back down, making you shorter again. To avoid this daily shortening, don't get out of bed. Simply by staying in bed for 20 days, you'll be 20% taller. 100 days, 100% taller. Since taller people are more successful, the longer you stay in bed, the more successful you'll be. Thanks for the tip. I'll have to try this out. Now you just have to get down to business. I've posted this before, but it blows my mind how much collective work is put into every single thing around us. Pick up a book. The author was not the only one responsible for it being in your hand. So was the owner of the publishing company, the factory worker making sure it was printing correctly, and many others. Look at a building. From the mind of the architect that designed it, the contractor in charge of building it, the construction worker who put his sweat and hard work into those walls. An apple you might have for a snack goes through many people, like the farmer, to the distributor, to the grocer that stocked it on the shelf. Pretty much everything around us had so many people working on it, many that you don't even consider. That's pretty amazing to me. That if you take all of the other planets in our solar system, including Pluto, and place them next to each other, they will all fit in the space between the Earth and the Moon. Thank you for including Pluto. It's been feeling left out lately. Really? Yes. That I was born. The chances of that happening are so small, it's incredible the level of coincidence that you ended up as you. Imagine all the times one of your ancestors, human or even earlier, that came close to dying or just mating with someone else. Being born is akin to winning a 1,000-numbered lottery jackpot. And not having kids is you single-handedly ending the unbroken chain of life that has been propagating continuously ever since the very first single-celled organism. Pressure is on. That one day this human being, me, would leave this world. They'll put me in a box and burn me until there's nothing but ashes. Everything I've known, everything I've seen, everything that goes on in my head, will be gone and it will never come back. And now I'm freaking out. Many old people who reach their 90s feel like they've already lived too long and just want to die. Maybe rest assured that if you ever live that long, you will actually look forward to dying, if your body simply cannot take the stress of daily living anymore. By that time, you may not care to leave the world, which can be a good thing to die without existential stress. Asking, "What's your name?" is essentially asking, "What noise do I make to get your specific attention?" Edit. Thanks for the silver. Kind stranger, this is the one for me. This is so endearing. You found your comment. DRR. 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 How little we think of others when we're living our own lives. Sometimes I just daydream I'm sitting here having a coffee, but thousands of miles away someone's detailing their car, someone else is about to get fired, someone's getting boned, someone else is unknowingly in the process of changing the world. Just boggles me sometimes to know that there's literally so much happening around the world in any given moment, but we just carry on living like the rest of the world doesn't exist. Right now is the youngest you'll ever be for the rest of your life, and the oldest you've been so far. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. And have a nice day.